Yo, 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 what up, y'all? What up? It's your boy Time Out, aka T Matrix. And something that I'm learning, man. Something that I'm learning is if something if you have an idea, a concept, or something that you're trying to bring to fruition, if the only way it survives is by the support of your family and your the people surrounding by you, if that's the only way it's going to survive, then well, let me correct that. If you feel that the only way this idea or this concept or whatever it is that you're trying to bring to fruition, if you feel that the only way it survives is by support from family and friends, then you might as well forget about it. You might as well forget about it because it is not going to survive solely on the support of family and friends. It's not. It's life is just not made up that way. I like at least I've come to realize that life is not made up that way. Like because if it was made up that way, truly, if it could support, if it could survive solely on the support of family and friends, then it's got to be like a miracle egg or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I've come to realize that. I've had a lot of talks with a lot of different people, man. I mean, a lot of different people, from all the way from big people to small people. And I'm not talking about like literally. I'm just saying like people who have attained a certain level of success and people who haven't obtained a certain level of success. And I've listened to all the conversations. And one thing that stuck out to me, my uncle, I have an uncle that lives in Atlanta, uh, lives in Georgia. And he told me something. And he was speaking directly to me. He said, "Hey man," he said when you are down to your last, when you have nothing at all, and you're trying to work your way up to a level, he said it's gonna be nobody there. Nobody's gonna be there to try to help you. Nobody's gonna be there to support you. He said, but he said when you finally make it and reach that plateau or that place that you're trying to get to, he says that's when everybody surprisingly comes out of the woodworks and says, "I knew you was gonna do it. I knew you was gonna make it, man. Hey, I've been watching you all over the years, and I knew it. I knew it was something special in you. Like they all come with that kind of energy once you've obtained what you're trying to obtain. That's when they all come out the woodworks. But on the road going up to that, nothing, zero. That's what I've learned. That's what I've learned, and I have not seen it change. I have not seen it change yet. You know what I'm saying? Like it's funny, man. Like the concepts and the ideas that I used to have um years and years and years ago are evolving. They evolve and they evolve, and I no longer think as I used to think. As far as when I say when I say no longer think what I used to think, I'm not talking about the things that I believe, my core values and my core beliefs. I'm not talking about that. My core beliefs hasn't changed. And to give you an example of what my core beliefs is, I my core belief is that if you have a system in place and if you put the hard work, dedication, passion, energy, drive behind that core system, then it's going to manifest and it's going to grow and it's going to turn into what it's supposed to turn into within reason and time. You know what I'm saying? That's my core belief. Okay. Now, um the things that have changed is the ideology of getting to that core belief. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm gonna just give you an example. I'm gonna give you an example, right? It's not necessarily gonna be a personal example, but it's gonna be a hypothetical example, right? Say for instance, right? If if by some if you was a person and you said, "Hey, I want to be an R&B singer," right? If you like say you somebody that says, "I want to be an R&B singer," right? And let's say you have talent, you have ability, you have drive, and you have the means to do all of these things, right? You got all of these locked up into one, right? You were blessed, you were fortunate, right? And let's say that you have let's say the family members that you have at least 1,000 family members, right? You have 1,000 family members, right? All right, if you were able to get all of your family members to support you, then you'd probably be able to gain some more traction, because like when you put out any kind of video, music, song, short form, shorts, whatever, like if you had 100% of your family's support, then as soon as you put the thing out and you send it to your family, you go already have 1,000 views starting off with. That's a strong starting point, but it's not a realistic starting point, because your family, like I said, your family is not going to support you 100%. And they're like, whatever, and we're not going to get into the reason why, but they're not going to support you 100%. They're not. You can forget about it. You gonna have some. You gonna have some family members that's gonna support you. Don't like you gonna have some real ones that's gonna be like, yo man, yeah yeah, that's what's up. I believe he can be an R&B singer, or something like that. You gonna have some, but you're not gonna have all, right? Because what people are looking for, they're looking for social proof. That's what they're looking for, social proof, right? They're looking for strangers outside of the family to agree and to say, oh man, I like that. Yeah, this is good. This is good. And then when they see that, that's when they come back and then they join amongst the supporters that were already there. Like they hide themselves amongst those supporters, and I knew you could do it all along. You know, that's what they do, which is ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous, but people need social proof, man. People need social proof. You know, it was one thing. Once in a point of time, I believed that that an artist could not make it if they did not have the right visual aesthetic, right? Once upon a time, I used to believe that. I believed that they needed the right visual aesthetic, right? But then there were so many examples of people who did not have the right visual aesthetic that made it. You like, oh man, well if they can make it, why can't I make it? You know what I'm saying? Like there's so many examples of people who didn't have the right visual aesthetic who made it. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of examples. Like I'll give you some older examples all the way to some newer examples. Flavor Flav being one. Flavor Flav wasn't polished and all of that. He had the big clock. Which some would consider that would be like a gimmick or whatever. And he had this boisterous attitude. That's going back further in the day. But then you have artists. Like you have actors. It's the one actor. You know what's the movie from Precious, right? Um, if people would look at her and be like, "Oh, she became an actor," yeah, she became a very popular actor. You know what I'm saying? Once at a point of time, I would have thought that would have been not possible. But she was able to attain what she obtained. Who knows how? I don't know what. I don't know if it was any funny work done behind the scenes, but she became an actor. It's also artists like what's the girl it's another girl she's a singer. She's a singer slash rapper. I don't know, but what's her name, man? She's on TikTok a lot, and she's very popular. I can't even think of her name, man. But I can't even think of her name right now. It's eluding me. But yeah. Matter of fact, it's gonna come back to me. It's gonna come back to me. Um, she's the girl who plays the girl who was playing the flute. Like uh um Ray Daniels be talking. He uses her as an example a lot of the times. I can't think of her name. But anyway, but yeah, like that's an example of someone who you would have thought that did not fit the aesthetic, even though she's pretty. Like she's very beautiful. I mean, even Precious is beautiful. She's just a little bit larger than the average person. And who knows how she looks now? I don't know. Like I'm going off of this is not going off of recent pictures or nothing, so don't judge me and don't come for me. I'm not talking bad about none of these people. I'm just saying that the industry would say that they wouldn't have the proper aesthetic, or whatever, for whatever it is, but they have proven that wrong, And I think nowadays, when it comes to like now, I'm gonna bring it full circle back to myself. Okay, I think nowadays, I think ageism is something that people go by, and people be like, oh man, nah, whatever. I think that ageism is a real problem. I also think that companies, like, they don't want to invest in you if you don't have numbers or following. I think that's something that's sticking out too. I think if you don't have the following, if you don't have the numbers, then they're not really paying too much attention to you. Talent is like 20% of overall of what people are looking for. If you have some kind of gimmick, a large gimmick that draws people's attention or whatever, and then you have at least 20% talent, people gonna be like, oh man, they gonna just eat it up, and they gonna follow, and they gonna look because they want to be entertained. You know what I'm saying? It goes back to that, that Jay-Z. Are you not entertained? You know, is this not why we are here? You know, but that's what it goes to. You take it back to the days of the cathedrals. Where they used to have these big battles, but they'd have they'd put animal versus animal, and people would fill up these coliseums to watch these fights. And then they did people versus other animals. Then they did people versus people, warriors versus warriors, all of that stuff like that, like, because we are a society that wants to be entertained, right? And now it is the artist's problem, or should I say solution, that they need to figure out how to draw the attention of the people and gain the followers and the likes and the comments and the subscriptions that they need in order to stand out in a big way to win the big companies over, so that they can to actually join those machines and get the bigger attention that they are trying to harness. You know what I'm saying? It's the problem of the artist, because we have to figure out how to be inventive to do that. And a lot of the avenues out here, man, that like a lot of the avenues per se, um that I've seen, like, I mean, I remember we used to have the Source magazine, right? The Source magazine, you used to be able to, you could send your music into the Source magazine, and if you was good, they would doggone highlight your image. They'll put a big image up, and they'll put where you can find your music, and they would help you out. Where did that go to? Now we have the double XL, the freshman class or whatever, and those guys, man. Some of them are good. I'm not gonna hate. Some of them are good, but some of them are. I'm like, man, come on, That's what I be thinking. All right, I'm gonna pause it because I gotta go get my niece real quick. All right, all right. So I am back. I had to go make sure I got my niece, or whatever, make sure she was straight. But yeah, so all right. But yeah, like I was saying, um, uh, we have to figure out ways to get the attention of the people. Double XL, that's what I was talking about. Double XL freshman class. Man, they was sometimes they have some good ones, sometimes they have some bad ones, or whatever. A lot of it to me is I'm gonna tell you one thing that I've learned. One thing that I've learned, right? All right, if you have a rapper or a rap artist or an MC or whatever, right? I'm gonna tell you the difference. First, let me tell you the difference between a rapper and an MC. All right, let me pause it. Hold on. Bam. All right, so we back. We back. I had to help my niece again 1 second, but yeah. So, all right. So the difference between a rapper and an MC. All right, a rapper a rapper raps, right? He knows how to rap. He is gonna rap on a beat, right? Um, and this might not be 100%. This might be 80% now. This might be 80% versus it used to be 100% the case. But a rapper knows how to rap. He jumps on a beat, right? He has the ability to rap and the ability to jump on a beat and to rap, right? Sometimes you have good rappers, sometimes you have bad rappers, right? But the evolution of a rapper, the last final form of a rapper should be to become an MC. A MC used to be master of ceremonies. You know what I'm saying? And meaning what an MC can do that the rapper can't is an MC can evaluate if it's a live performance, right? Say if it's a live performance, and the MC gets on stage, right? The MC can look at the crowd and he can notice he can kind of feel out what the crowd wants, what the crowd needs, and how to reflect that to the crowd in order to gain the reaction that he's trying to gain, right? That's what he can do in real time. Also, what an MC does is an MC can recognize, okay, this song, this beat right here goes good with this verse right here, and he puts them together for a perfect marriage. Sometimes he'll recognize, oh, this beat is not good for this rap. It might be another rap. He'll scan through and get another rap and be like, oh, this rap goes with this beat. And then he brings them together. All of this is done quickly within his mind if it's a stage performance. You know what I'm saying? But if he's in the studio, he can do the same thing in the studio. He'll be like, okay, yeah, all right, that beat right there. Oh, this will go with that right there. And some rappers can do it. Not all, but some rappers can do it. But you ever heard a verse from your favorite rapper, and then you listen to it on the beat and you be like, I didn't like that beat, but the verse was fire. You ever felt like that? That's because that person has not gained the level of MCing to understand the difference. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why that happens like that. Like, and that's what we had in this past freshman class, or whatever. The beat that they rapped on, it was like it wasn't a perfect fit. It was like the bare minimum type beat for what they was spitting, and that's no shots to DJ Drama or anything, you know what I'm saying? I don't know who picked the beat. Maybe all of them got together and picked that beat. But like I said, if that was the case, then there lies the problem. But so whenever you have whenever you have a song and the beat doesn't match the song, that causes a problem. It causes a problem, and people can't gravitate to it the right way. And I'm gonna tell you something else. A lot of y'all rappers, a lot of y'all incredibly gifted, talented artists out there. A lot of y'all that's undiscovered. Y'all problem is that y'all don't have enough exposure. You don't have enough exposure. There's not enough people to see what you can do. That's what your problem is. When you have more people that can see what you can do, when they can actually put eyes on you, in large quantities and see what you could do, that's what's gonna break through for y'all. That's gonna be y'all breakthrough right there. When you have a large audience to see you, that's your breakthrough. That some of y'all, that's your only issue. You just don't know how to get yourself in front of the masses. And I'm gonna tell you what that inquires. I'm not gonna give you the problem without giving you the solution. Y'all, I'm gonna give you the solution on this one right here. All right. A lot of the times, y'all are not willing to do paid advertising. Paid advertising, meaning that you set up a clear budget and you say, I'm going to spend X amount of money for this month on just getting myself in front of the masses. And then when I get myself in front of the masses, I'm going to let them see what I can do and then see where that goes from there. I'm going to give y'all an example. I'm going to give y'all a literal example. A literal example. Let's see here. All right, in order for me to do this, let me go. I want to go to my YouTube page. I'm going to go to my YouTube page real quick. Y'all. Okay, here we go. And go to YouTube Studio. And let's go to content. And I want to show y'all something. This is like literally like I want y'all to really pay attention to what I'm saying. Alright. I'm just looking at some of these videos and the views. I'm looking at my views, Alright, I need to go back to this one particular. I'm gonna show you the power of paid advertising. I'm going to explain to you the power of paid advertising. Real quick. Real simple. Where is it at? Right here. This is where it's at. I was on the wrong page. Okay. Where is it? Oh man. Where is the video? It's not there. Okay. Maybe I gotta go here. There it is. Alright, here it is. Right here. Alright. This is the power of paid advertising. Right? Okay. I did a paid promotion for my YouTube, for my iconic legacy experience. I did a paid commercial promotion, right? This was back in February of this year. Right? Okay. I paid X amount of money, and I'm not gonna tell you how much money I paid, but I paid X amount of money in order to get my video in front of the masses, in front of a large group of people, right? Let me do something real quick. Let me click on this because I want to see the actual video. Will it show me the actual video? Come on, man. All right. Yeah, I paid X amount of money to get my commercial in front of a large mass of people. I started back in February. This was back in February 2026, and that promotion, January, February, March. That promotion lasted from February to March. Right, that was 1 month. Now, let me go to it, man. I gotta go to it. Why won't it let me go to it? I don't know. Is this it? Is that gonna let me go to it? Oh man, come on. I'm on content. Okay, maybe I gotta back up. I think that's what I gotta do. I have to look at it on this different view, because I want to show y'all how this thing actually works. I want to actually show y'all how this works. So let's back up one more time. Here it is. Bam. Okay, so all right. Like I said, I paid X amount of dollars to get my commercial in front of a certain group, like a certain group of the masses of people, right? All right, and all right, according to according to the threshold of the amount of money that I spent, I was supposed to get in front of I think it was supposed to reach like 10,000 people. It might have been it might have been 10, 20,000 people. It might yeah, it might have been 20,000 people. That's what the reach that I was reaching for. I was reaching for 20,000 people, right? Okay. Now, when I did this, instead of it getting the 20,000 that I was trying to get in front of, it actually ended up getting to more than that. It actually hit 48,564 views. That's how many views that it got on that particular commercial. Now, out of all of these views, all of these are not paid. All of this is not paid. Let me go back to the actual promotion. So remember, I said the actual views is 48,564. Let's go back to the promotion, right? Okay, the amount of views that the paid advertising got was 33,013 views. So the paid advertising capped out at 33,013 views. But after that 33,013, it kept going. It took on a life of itself. So let's go ahead and do the math real quick. We're gonna do the math real quick, y'all. Let's pull up my calculator. Here we go. 48, 564 minus 33,013. Okay, so after the paid advertising, I still got 15,551 views. That was after the paid advertising, because once people saw the commercial from the paid advertisement, that 15,005 was the extra of the social proof that people needed. That was the social proof that like they needed the social proof, and it tagged along and added those extra 15,000 people. You know what I'm saying? So that's how this thing works. That's how it works. If you want to get your music or whatever it is in front of a large group of people, then sometimes the best way to go is paid advertising. Paid advertising. And I think that's kind of the way. I think that's kind of what the business is leading to anyway. I think it's leading to this paid advertising type thing. Like you you invest in yourself, you invest in the paid advertising, and the residual that you get off of that is what catapults you further, right? And the record industries know this. The record industries have been doing this. They've been doing this for as long as you can think, But but in this social media era, they've just been able to take it further with this social media thing. With this, like beforehand, they was doing this all physical advertising, getting on TV or whatever in all these other markets, but now they're able to put their money where their mouth is and bring it to fruition. You know what I'm saying? So just imagine. I want you to imagine for a second. And these are low numbers. The numbers I'm dealing with, those are low numbers. If you invested, if you created an album, right? I'm gonna give y'all the sauce. I'm gonna give you the sauce right now. Matter of fact, I'm not. You know what? I'm not even gonna give it to you. I'll give it to you on a later date, right? Because I know how people are. They want social proof. So I'm gonna give you the social proof after I've done it. I'm gonna give you social proof after I've done it. But yeah, this has been Time Out, aka T Matrix. I had to come on here. This is a Monday, August the 3rd, y'all. Appreciate y'all watching. Don't forget, Iconic Legacy Experience is on Google Play right now. Go download it and find out what else we got in store on that. That's all I'm gonna say. Go download it and see what you can get after that. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm still doing reach out, reach back, and nobody's emailed me. All right, I said I was gonna do it for the whole month of August, and nobody has reached out for any free beats. And y'all, these are completely free. Like, I'm not giving you no BS. I'm gonna give you quality, top of the line. You know what I'm saying? And you gonna have a chance to, we can politic on the phone and work it out. But yeah, that's what I got for y'all, man. It's been your boy Time Out, aka AT Matrix. Peace.